Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 17 upsets to bet. Sorry for the late upload. Over-unders will be up Thursday morning. Let's get this money. Hit the like button. First game. We got the Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. Giants are plus 4.5. I like them, man. I like the Giants this game. Yesterday, they were a money pick at 6.5. Look at the value we're getting. I know the line moved down because Tyrod Taylor was named starter, but I think there's elements of this game that makes me fearful for the Rams. I do wonder, how will this Rams offensive line deal with the Giants defense that attacks? We know this Giants defense isn't great in the secondary, but we know they play aggressive, and we know they slang blitzes at you all game. And you do wonder about the Rams going west to east in cold conditions. This isn't a dome. This isn't California. It's not going to be an easy environment to play in. Say what you will about the Giants. We know they stink. They stink. But I still trust Dable. I'm not giving up on Dable, and I think this Giants team is well coached. And I think putting Tyrod Taylor under center will keep this offense on schedule, and I think they'll be able to move the ball. And when you look at this Rams defense, I feel like they've overachieved this year. You got to tip your fedora to Raheem Morris. We haven't even seen a big, dominant Aaron Donald season, but I still think the Giants will be able to move the ball. And we know the big issue is this offensive line, but when you don't have to worry about an edge rusher, when you can double Aaron Donald when he's in the inside, I think we see the Giants moving it. And let's not forget Waller's back, Saquon's playing good. This is the upset of the week. I absolutely love the Giants' home field advantage. Bet them with the points, and you can bet a money line. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions. Campbell at the Dallas Cowboys. Lions plus 6. Listen, I'm not telling anyone to pawn their wife's wedding ring or go hard on this game. I'm just trying to open your mind. And last week we were triumphant with the Miami pick, and I do think this Cowboys team is very good. I'm not taking anything away from them. They do have elements I like that defensive line, but that defensive line is also a reason why I think they can lose this game. I think this defensive line on Dallas, they like to do one thing. They like to pin their ears back, and they like to rush the passer, and they like to sack the quarterback, and that's when they're in their element. But I don't think Detroit's going to let them do that. And if you look at this Detroit offense the last 4 or 5 weeks, their running game has been absolutely outstanding. And now the full 5 starting offensive linemen are finally healthy. And the reason why I'm not bombastic saying, yes, we need to slam everything on Lions money line is because we know Goff. We know if Goff is forced to throw it, if they don't have run-pass balance, we know Goff can be terrible. And we know this Cowboys defense loves playing tight man-to-man. They get aggressive, but I think Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, I've been saying all year, outside of Shanahan, outside of Big Red Andy Reid, do we have a better offensive mind in this league? Do we have a more creative play caller? I think the Lions stick with them, and I think the Lions are able to put up points. You do worry about this Lions defense. They were able to create 3 or 4 turnovers last week, but that's Nick Mullins. And I got to say something, man. I'm not taking anything away from Dak Prescott. I'm not taking anything away from CD Lamb. But I do feel like this Cowboys passing attack has been drastically overrated this year. And I do wonder if Detroit can get this lead, if they can be able to run the ball and stick to their game plan. I think this Lions defense can force 2 turnovers, and I think that's enough to tilt this game in Big D. Don't count out the Lions here. I'm just here to tell you that. Don't count them out, and I like them with the 6. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. Raiders plus 3.5. I'm worried about the Colts. And listen, last week the Colts backfired on us. They've been absolutely outstanding for us every time we bet them this year. But I'm worried about this Colts team, and it's because the run game. And I don't want to hold too much against them, but Grady Jarrett and Calais Campbell absolutely ate their offensive line for lunch, and Minshew didn't even play that bad. And when the Colts can't run the ball, you really start seeing their weaknesses. Shane Steichen had a great game plan against the Falcons, but every time they tried to run the ball, it goes from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 11, and that's all they were getting. They were losing yards pretty much every carry, and for me, like JT, give me Moss. I'm not a big Jonathan Taylor fan, and I think they're going to try to force the ball to him. And this Raiders defense, I've been telling you guys all year, they're an underrated unit, and finally the United States got to see on Christmas what I've been yelling about. I've been yelling and praising this defense from the beginning of the year, and we're seeing them get better. And I got to ask you a question. Is there a unit playing with more heart, more desire, more gusto than this Raiders defense led by Antonio Pierce? You can't count them out, and they have a fighter's chance, a puncher's chance in every game they play because of that. And you do worry about Aiden O'Connell. I mean, obviously that's why this is an upset. This is why the Raiders aren't favored. But I do think the Raiders can grind it out. And we saw their run game. It seems to be getting better. Remember the first 6-7 weeks, they couldn't run the ball at all. This is a Colts defense that's soft in the front seven, man. Outside of DeForest Buckner, no one on that defensive line can win battles. And if you look at their linebacking core, I like speed. I like Zaire Franklin, but they're small and they're not getting gaps. They're not holding their run fits. And I think the Raiders do the simpler things better. I think they run the ball better. I think they play better defense. And I'm not sure this Colts receiving core, they can't get separation, man. And I know Pittman's questionable, but even if he plays, the only wide receiver on that team who can create consistent separation is Josh Downs. And I like the way this Raiders secondary is playing. I like the gusto Jack Jones has brought to this squad. Give me the Raiders upset, and I absolutely love it now that we got the hook. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at Chicago Bears, Duck Bears. Falcons +3. The fundamentals say bet Bears, right? Falcons going to a grass surface, a Falcons team that's been very inconsistent, a Falcons team that churns the ball over a ton, and you have a Chicago Bears defense that has been playing phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But I'm not sold on the Chicago offense, and I don't think they're going to be able to run it against Atlanta. And that's a big part of Chicago moving the ball. And if you look at this offense the last 4 weeks, dating back to the Vikings game, they've been absolutely terrible. And they're putting up points because the defense is getting 3 or 4 turnovers a game. But like what happened with Denver, eventually that's going to dry up and they're going to get exposed. And Taylor Heineke finally played a good game, and if you're a Falcons fan, you know you just haven't seen good quarterback play this year. But the point being, the Falcons don't really need good quarterback play. They need to run the ball, take care of the football, and let that defense do work. I think this Atlanta defense, I think they've been underrated the whole year. I feel like they're ready to fight, playoff life on the line, Alamo type game. And I know someone's going to say, well, the Bears are at Soldier Field playing for their lives. Give me the Falcons. I think the Falcons run the ball better this game, and I actually like the Falcons' skill positions, even if we look at the wide receivers better than the Bears, and even if you look at like DJ Moore's production, Field just isn't playing good enough or consistently enough to utilize that man's talent. Give me the Falcons. I think they stop the Bears' run game, and I think that's going to put them up against the proverbial wall. Fins, last game, Fins, don't count them out. Don't count them out. I've been telling you the whole year, don't count the Dolphins out. Don't count them out. Hit the like button, share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money.